You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel. I'm Jim, and I have some breaking news for all you weirdos out there. Green Lantern War Journal #1 puts John Stewart back on the front line. That is the headline, and this is a book that's going to be coming out in September by Philip Kennedy Johnson and art by Montos. And if that rings a bell, they are currently doing the backup stories in the Jeremy Adams Green Lantern book. Now, I know there are a lot of Philip Kennedy Johnson fans out there. I know that because I'm one of them. I really did like his War World saga, but even more so, I am loving what he's doing right now in Action Comics. But the backup stories that are going on in that Green Lantern book are garbage. And that's me being nice. Those stories are barely readable. And the big problem is they're grabbing a lot of things from the Jeffrey Thorne run on Green Lantern. And that book was an epic fail. It got canceled because nobody liked it and fewer people were reading it. I know it's in continuity, but sometimes you have to wipe the shit clean. That is what I think about comics, and also hygiene in the bathroom. You need to wipe the shit clean, and I don't know why they're not doing that. But by the end of this news story, it does seem like there might be a glimmer of hope, because it seems like Philip Kennedy Johnson himself knows that the things that he's doing right now, they're not really that great. And maybe he'll be righting the ship when we get to Green Lantern War Journal in September. So here is the news. Philip Kennedy Johnson, which is cool. When he's not writing comics, he is a master sergeant in the U.S. Army, and he promises that this new series will be, quote, the most epic 80s sci-fi action movie you haven't seen. And by that, I do think he means Hell Comes to Frogtown. Here is DC's official synopsis of what this series will be about. John Stewart's time as a Green Lantern has come to an end, or so he thinks. A family tragedy calls him back home, and as John begins to reclaim the brilliant career he once left behind, he tries to embrace a peaceful post-superhero life. But when a terrifying and contagious force with a mysterious connection to O appears on Earth, the last Green Lantern of another universe comes seeking the only warrior to face this threat and win, the immortal guardian and builder, John Stewart himself. Can this brilliant, brash, young Lantern help John discover the qualities that made him one of the greatest Lanterns of the entire multiverse? So I think that when I read that synopsis, that little bit of a solicit, I think that most people who are going to buy this book, they're not going to buy it because of what I just read. That barely makes any sense. Plus, it's throwing stuff that people are kind of sick of right now, multiverse, other things. And I'll even go as far to say that why are we throwing in a brash new Lantern from another universe when we have so many other Lanterns that are doing nothing right now? Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner, Jessica Cruz, Simon Baz, all of these Lanterns, but yet we have to get this brash young Lantern that's going to get John inspired to get back to doing things, and I'm worried about it. And again, though, I'm more worried because it ties into a lot of the stuff that Jeffrey Thorne failed with. Why are you doing that? But it says Johnson and Montos have also been creating the backup stories in the core Green Lantern comic. You don't say, which launched last month. The writer promises, though, a very different feel for War Journal. Like he already knows that he better do something better, which that's the glimmer of hope. Here's what he says. The prologue stories in the back of Green Lantern 1 to 3 have a clear sci-fi fantasy feel. I don't think they have a clear anything feel. But when Green Lantern War Journal #1 drops, it's going to start feeling less like Dune and a lot more like Predator, the Terminator, and Aliens. Now, in that, it seems like he's saying the stuff that he's doing now is Dune. And seriously, I grew up reading Dune. I love Dune. You, sir, are no Dune. But there's other red flags here, and I don't know if everybody's heard this, but it's something that's been told to me a bunch of times in my life. And it's that if you have something going on, don't compare it to other things. Don't start off by saying, well, I'm doing this movie that's part American Pie and part Pulp Fiction. Because when people hear that, they don't think of anything original, and they start thinking of other things. And plus, if I want American Pie, I'll go watch American Pie. If I want Pulp Fiction, I'll go watch Pulp Fiction, right? And if I want the combo of those, we already have Ernest Goes to Camp. So why would I need something like that? So when you end up saying this stuff about Predator, Terminator, Aliens, you're just muddying up your original story. And another side note is I've read Philip Kennedy Johnson's Alien book over at Marvel, and that was boring as hell. So that makes me worry as well. But he continues and says sometimes you just need 80s James Cameron. You know, that's true, especially if you have these like really jerk actors that you want to have go through the ringer. He'll put him through the ringer. That guy, oh my goodness. And that's what this is, he says. I hope it's not he's putting people through the ringer. But by the end of this series, readers are going to know exactly who John Stewart is and why he was born to be a Green Lantern. And again, I want people to step back a second. If you are a Philip Kennedy Johnson fan, then you're not going to bat an eye at what I just read. But if this was, say, Teenie Howard, and you had this deal, and I'm not saying that she's got any bit of the talent that Philip Kennedy Johnson has, but still, I think that if this was anybody else, the idea of saying, hey, by the end, you're going to know who John Stewart is and why he was born, people would say, but I already know that. We already know that. Come on now. You're not here to, reinvent the wheel, tell a good story. But I think people are giving Philip Kennedy Johnson a bit of a pass because, and again, I don't mind giving him a pass because you like stuff he's done. But just as a added little deal by the end of this, just so I can be even more negative, right, and piss more people off, I didn't like anything pretty much that he's done at Marvel. I actually, overall, the whole scheme of things, I like less than what I do like of what he has done. But his good stuff has been at DC. The Last God, Action Comics, that stuff, that's been pretty strong. But I'm worried. I'm worried about this. And I'm basically worried because I can barely get through a 3-page backup without getting a migraine and then just scratch my head because I know that he's so much better than what I'm seeing on the page there. And that's where at the end, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to say, I know he's better than that. And I hope that we see that come September in this book. But again, I'm just being honest. If you get mad at me, you're just like DC. Everybody hates old Jimmy Boy because he's honest. But there you go. That's my honesty. But everybody else can have their own opinions. So let me know what you think in the comments section. And if you're looking forward to this, if this announcement, and really what I want to know, and I'll tell you right now, what I really want to know is, do the backups and this announcement get you excited, or were you just going to get this anyway because you'll support Philip Kennedy Johnson? Because that's where I'm at. I will support the book because I like Philip Kennedy Johnson, but every step of it, it's really pushing me back. It's like holding me back. It's like a hockey fight. I'm trying to get in the fight, and the refs grab me, and I'm trying to break free because I do want to get to the fight, which in this case, for some reason, is the John Stewart stuff by Philip Kennedy Johnson. But the ref, that's all these other things, these backups, and the Jeffrey Thorne. Oh my goodness, I don't know if that really made sense to anybody, but it kind of makes sense to me. But I'm a wacky guy, so all in all, I want to know what everybody thinks of this. Are you excited about it? Also, if you would like to do so, subscribe, like all that stuff. I think I'm going to stop even saying that. I'm going to trust everybody watching that you're so wowed with the knowledge that you're getting here that you'll definitely hit that subscribe, like, and enable things, right? Yeah. All right. So that's it, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that everybody, if I don't talk to you, I hope you all have a great weekend, all that stuff. But I will talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.